In South Sudan, I'm working on a portion of our Strengthening Midwifery Services project that specifically works at association strengthening. So CAM will take a kind of a twinning approach where through the course of the project, both of our associations will grow capacity. In South Sudan, my portion of the project focuses on association strengthening and capacity building, and we'll do that through a twinning approach between Canadian Association of Midwives and South Sudan's Nurse and Midwives Association. I think in Canada we're perfectly placed to help with the new association because midwifery in Canada is quite young. We're looking at 22 years. So any Canadian midwife could provide you with somewhat of a roadmap from 0 to 10% of the births nationally and how we got there. In South Sudan, I'd like to share with them what worked for us here in Canada and what didn't, strengths and pitfalls. And we're also going to have to get a good understanding from them of what's unique about their situation and how we might need to approach things differently. As a CAM board member, I've seen the unfolding of CAM's global programs, and I've watched the various projects develop, and I was particularly inspired to work on this project in South Sudan. Estimates of maternal mortality in South Sudan are difficult because so few people birth with a care provider, but some would estimate it has the highest maternal mortality in the world, so I feel like it's the place where they need our help the most. There's a lot of challenges with the project. They are the same projects you would expect when you're working abroad. Basic communication. They don't have internet in their home. They don't even have computers or internet in their office. So communication is infrequent. When it happens, you're relying on non-ideal methods like Skype. They have insecurity to deal with, which means our staff had to evacuate last year in the summertime, and we were delayed in the ability to go there for this project. Some project team members have gone to Uganda as a safe alternative in the interim. So we do have to work through that. There are cultural barriers, as there always are, to address, and very different living and working conditions. Whether you're working with South Sudan, Tanzania, Ethiopia, DRC, any of those projects, you get this beautiful insight into what it means to be a midwife. If you distill it right down, what is a midwife, irregardless of culture or setting or workplace? And it gives you great insight into what we do well here and what we could do better and what we could do differently. CAM does a great job of walking you through what to expect when you're preparing to go away. Initially, you have to do a lot of background reading on the country that you're going to understand the context of where you're going. There's many meetings with the people who you'll be meeting when you get there so that you can be prepared when you land. There is security training through the UN for this project online to prepare you for what to expect and how to manage an emergency. And you've got to go to the travel clinic, get your vaccines up to date. Well, I knew from the board work that they were going to look for a board member who could be a steering committee member, somebody who could bring CAM's perspective as an association to the project and bring the progress of the project back to that board. And I felt a resonance. I have experience working in East Africa, and I really felt a call to go to the youngest country with the highest maternal mortality rate and make a connection there.